Hello, this is Dr. Kirkendall. I wanted to take just a quick moment to talk to you a little bit about estrogen and why it's an important role in our bodies today, especially the females out there, but also extremely important for the male patients that we're seeing. And here's why, is we are swimming in a sea of xenoestrogens now. Now, xenoestrogen is basically an outside exogenous source, ultimately. Now, these xenoestrogen comes from pesticides, okay? They come from pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals are actually, a lot of them made with xenoestrogens. It's not just the estrogen-carrying hormone either. Like, they're actually, a lot of them have hormones in them. The meats and the products in our environment, the plastics and the chemicals have a lot of xenoestrogens. When you're walking down the laundry aisle at the grocery store, you smell the fabric softeners and all of the different types of products in the cleaning aisle. Most of those are xenoestrogens. Now, it's important to know that when your body takes on estrogens, just as any hormone or any fat that you're exposed to, the body oftentimes will have difficulty ridding itself of these xenoestrogens, especially if you don't have a good cleaning system. If your liver or your oil filter of your body isn't cleaning properly, or it's toxic, it builds up and it can't eliminate it. But a lot of these synthetic xenoestrogens won't even release, even if you're giving it exactly what it needs. So it's important to, number one, start to identify, like, what are these things in my environment? These are the things that are made with plastics. Everything down from the wire on my mic to the plastic on my buttons, there's plastic everywhere today. And ultimately, these plastics are building up in every single aspect of plastic that's made on this planet. Every atom will always exist. It's never created nor destroyed. And so this plastic goes back into our environment to bioaccumulate, and the fish begin to eat it. And then bigger fish eat that, and bigger fish eat that. And then we get the fish, or we eat some wonderful, delicious sushi one night, and we're absorbing tons of estrogen. Or at the bottom of the ocean, these chemicals and estrogens and hormones build up, and we eat clams or shrimp or bottom feeding. We're absorbing these things in our body. It's important to recognize what are the things that we're getting exposed to and begin to eliminate that. Now, one of the biggest ones that we can stop right off the bat, we got to get rid of, guys, is the plastic bags and the plastic bottles. The bottles are what's really, it's just crazy. But ultimately, especially if you store these in heat, which if you live in Texas in the summer and they're driving these things around, these things are hot. Or if you're exposing them to high temperatures of either hot or cold, freezing them. But basically, the hot and cold will actually pull the estrogens out, okay? So when you drink water, you're drinking water laden with hormones and chemicals. So you're washing constantly, your esophagus sitting right by your thyroid, this estrogen. And this estrogen will begin to build up, and it can actually, one of the things that can shut down your thyroid and adrenal function. It's one of the things that can lead to excess hormone production, because estrogen overload will actually begin to create a thickening of the cell wall. When it comes to the uterus and a woman who's menstruating, every month there's a cycle of estrogen and progesterone, right? It's a proper cycle that you should always go through. But as we get more and more estrogen, I like to say this. Estrogen causes tissue to grow, and progesterone causes tissue to grow up. So if there's not enough progesterone, or if there's too much xenoestrogen or synthetic estrogens in your environment, you begin to get thickening and thickening of the uterine wall. You'll get breast tenderness. And so the woman's hormones, they have to produce a lot more contraction and constricting during the cycling part of the month. So they'll get a lot of, I've got a lot of cramps, I've got a lot of back pain. That's because your body's having to get rid of that thick lining, so you get thick blood or even clotting. So ultimately, recognize, okay, estrogens are number one. I need to eliminate that. So stop drinking out of plastic, folks. We've got to knock that out. Stop using styrofoam. Stop using plastic bags that go back into the Earth's atmosphere and ultimately are killing us here on this planet. Let's begin to look at that and begin to look at makeups. A lot of those have synthetic hormones and chemicals in them. If it's not something that you would eat, don't put it on your body. If you don't have something you would put on your body that you would eat, then find a good product that's out there. There's a lot of them that are available that are organic products and naturally made these days. So hopefully that information was powerful and helpful today, and it'll help you begin to take your power back.